How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. We're talking about NIO today because they had their battery day yesterday and came out with some really good information on their new batteries that they're unveiling and their battery as a service program. So I'm going to go over that. I'm going to talk about what they did, what they announced, and kind of what I'm looking for in their upcoming earnings report and when I would buy more. And make sure you stay through to the end because we're going to be talking about how Elon Musk fired a couple shots at NIO after this battery event, like right after it ended. So stay through and I'm going to tell you about that towards the end. So if you guys like this, please leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. This is really exciting stuff, so I wanted to cover it. I wasn't planning on doing it on a Saturday, but I think it's really important because it just came out on Friday. Also, if you want to support the channel, you can use the link down below to get 3 free stocks from WeBull. So you can definitely check that out as long as you deposit $100. I got a $140 stock the other day, so definitely check it out. It might be worth it for you because you can get up to $1,600 per stock. So let's take a look at NIO. They were actually down a little bit on the day, but this week they've been on a tear, and I bought for the first time this week. And so far, they're up 22% this week. On the month, they are up about 100% almost. On the 6 month, obviously, an insane amount of over 1,000%. So on Friday, they had their battery event. Now, what did they unveil? A couple very important things. First of all, they unveiled that they are going to have a 100 kilowatt battery. So this means that they will be able to increase the range of their vehicles. They are very competitive with Tesla now for their range. And there's going to be one important thing that you have to consider, not only the range of their batteries, but something else I'll hit on a second. But you can see NIO previously offered a 70 kilowatt hour battery, and then they increased this to about an 84 kilowatt battery. This increased the range a little bit, but now they are unveiling the 100 kilowatt battery with a new cell to pack design. They're saying this can allow the vehicles to go up to 382 miles, you can see right down here, on a single charge. So this is really important. The other thing, though, that will be important to see is the cost per kilowatt hour. So at what price can they manufacture these batteries for? This is something that Tesla has put a lot of money in because this is a very expensive part of the manufacturing process. So they've been able to decrease the price of their vehicles mostly due to the fact that they are decreasing the cost of the battery. This is going to be something that's really important going forward for NIO to be able to compare on a price basis or to be able to compete on a cost basis with Tesla. Now, right now, they're more expensive, but if they want to be able to get into that mid-tier category, the $25,000 to $35,000 vehicle, this is going to be something that they need to decrease. Now, this is still very exciting just for the fact that they have been able to increase the range. A lot of other competitors aren't near this 380 or close to 400 mile range. The other thing is, they also talked about their battery as a service program. They talked about how starting November 7, you can pre-order their new 100 kilowatt hour battery. This is an important thing to know because a lot of the time when they unveil these types of improvements for vehicles, whether it's Tesla or NIO, a lot of the time people just want to wait for that new upgrade, right? They don't want to buy right before there's an upgrade. And I think of it the same as phones, right? When you hear about a new cell phone coming out, whether you're going to buy the iPhone 11 or the 12, you usually wait, right? So if you want the newest technology, you wait so that you can actually have it. You're not buying an iPhone 11 if you want the iPhone 12. And then also, if you want the iPhone 11, if you don't care about the iPhone 12, you're still probably going to wait, right? Because you want to get that cost savings because a lot of the time they decrease the price of the prior model. So it's kind of like that. So that has been an issue for especially Tesla in the past. They've had to deal with that they decrease their sales numbers. But you can see here that they are actually going to be able to upgrade their battery if they pay a little bit. So if they want to buy the 70 kilowatt hour battery, then they can have the ability to upgrade it if they just pay this 880 RMBs a month or about 8,000 per year. Now converted over to USD, you can see that's about $133 a month. It's a little bit less than that. If you buy the whole year, it's about 1,200 or so. So this is something that is pretty easy, right? If you're buying a $50,000 car, it's not that crazy to pay $130 a month just to be able to upgrade it. They also said if you buy a NIO car with a 70 kilowatt hour battery and you get the battery as a service, you can enjoy 70,000 RMBs off the price and only 980 per month for the battery subscription. Now, that's a huge cost savings, honestly. That's over 10,000 USD. So the fact that they're willing to give you this cost savings up front, I mean, if I was buying NIO or if I was buying a NIO vehicle, I would definitely take this offer. Now, I don't know exactly how they can do that because that takes a long time for them to be able to recover that. That would take them, about 70 months to be able to recover that. And maybe they just want to prop up those numbers so that way they have a reoccurring revenue stream. But for them to give $10,000 cost savings just to have this part of their business build up a little bit, that is pretty interesting. Now, they have said that they've built over 150 of these battery swapping systems and these battery swapping areas throughout the nation in China, so that is kind of interesting too. I mean, that's a pretty big number. Of course, China is really big and has a really high population, so I'm sure these are very busy still. Now, they also note that if you buy a NIO car with the 100 kilowatt battery with battery as a service, you can get 128,000 RMBs off the car price. That is almost $20,000. And then you have to pay a little bit more for the battery as a service. You have to pay about $1,500, but that's still going to take them a while to recuperate that. So it's quite interesting what they're trying to do. They're really trying to build up that side of their business. They're trying to keep you as a client long term, and they're trying to get a reoccurring revenue stream. And I think that's just going to be something where, sure, they see a little bit of a hit on the front end, but then they have that reoccurring revenue. The other thing that's really important too is they talked about in this presentation that this battery swapping is going to be as easy as, you get out of your car, you go get a coffee, and you come back and they're done. So if you're trying to travel a far away, especially in China, I mean, there's a lot of space to cover in China if you have to go from one side of the country to the other. If you were able to just stop and instead of fuel up for 15 minutes or an hour, depending on how fast the charging stations are, you would be able to just stop and be able to switch out, get your coffee, 5 minutes later, come back, and it's right there for you. That would be very convenient, especially for the upper class, because a lot of the time they don't really want to have to wait. They're already willing to pay a little extra for convenience. I mean, think about if you're someone that can buy a $50,000 car, you're probably willing to spend a little extra so you don't have to wait for things, right? So that is something to consider too, as opposed to what we're planning on doing here in the US. I mean, Biden even said it, that he wants 500,000 charging stations, and charging stations take a while. I mean, it's not going to be as quick as just going to the gas station. They might be populated like gas stations, right, where there are so many of them around, but it might take you, half an hour to be able to charge up your vehicle. You're going to have to plan to, take a walk or go get coffee, sit down or eat, something like that. So after the event ended, Elon Musk tweeted out, 420 is 10 times better than 42. So talking about how, Tesla stock price around 420 compared to NIO stock price, which is around 42, which is technically correct. But just looking at how they've done over the last year, you can see NIO here in blue and see Tesla over here in yellow. Obviously, Tesla's done quite well over the year, going up a significant amount. But if we look at NIO, it's just blowing up. So that is something that you should definitely consider too. Over the last year, it's been insane to be either of these investors, but especially NIO. Now, when am I buying NIO? When would I be willing to buy more? Well, they have their upcoming earnings report on November 17. So not too far away. I'm going to pay very close attention to this because I'm looking for a couple things. First of all, I want to see them either increase production, so be able to just talk about increasing their production, their future estimates on that, because obviously they are selling for a pretty high premium because we're expecting them to be able to ramp production. Or I want to see them give a little bit more information on the battery as a service and how that can really impact their business in a positive way. Or I want to see them be able to talk about their technology, what they're upgrading, how they're going to compete with Tesla and decrease the cost of their vehicles, or some kind of expansion, whether it is getting into another country or just being able to ramp up more in their own country, more factories producing different vehicles. And, there are a lot of things that could go positive in this earnings call, a lot of things that we could be looking forward to. Honestly, there's so many different things that they could say that would make me bullish on the vehicles and on the stock in general that I think it's going to be really interesting. Now, if you're interested in growth stocks, there is a video that I did just yesterday on NNDM, which is a penny stock that ARK Invest is buying. And it went up 28% the other day. So you should definitely check out this video here and watch it. It's really interesting. Thank you for checking out WeBull and hitting the like button. And I will see you in this video right here. Bye.